Hey guys, so today's tip for a more ergonomic approach to your posture when playing the violin or fiddle is to think about your bowing and fingering like a negative image. Now, what do I mean by a negative image? Instead of thinking about the more obvious elements of your bowing and fingering, I want you to focus on the behind the scenes elements which comprise those things. So instead of focusing on your bow stroke and your arm movement, I want you to reflect on what parts of your arm are actually getting you from the tip to the frog or vice versa. A great way to do this is to go through one of your tunes, but go really slowly and try to analyze each bow stroke and fingering placement to get a better idea of just what your body's doing. Why do I say that? Well, because I want you to reflect not so much on how you look when you play, but how you're feeling. I want you to try and detach yourself from the mentality that if it looks a certain way, then I'm doing it right, and if it doesn't look a certain way, then I'm doing it wrong. It's not as black and white as that, in my experience anyway. And often, once you target the core issues of what could be causing posture pain, which I'm relating back to my own set of circumstances, then you'll find that bettering your technique from the ground up, maybe you only have to do a few things, but that will often lead you to a point of things looking quite good as well. But the looks are only secondary. So, in particular, I suppose what I'm getting at the core of this video is that I believe the negative image, by the way, a negative image in the artistic sense, not a negative self-image aspect of your bowing and fingering. Why do I think that? I don't know. It just feels the best to me. When my shoulders are relaxed, I used to bow from my shoulder. I used to put my fingers down, but it caused wrist pain and shoulder pain. And if you're having pain in your joints, as opposed to the actual muscles that you have in between them, then I would seriously consider rethinking your technique. And that's basically what I mean with the metaphor. So, with the metaphor of it being a negative image, the muscles are the in-between parts, and these are generally the ones you should be using. So, I hope I have explained that well. You could even just run some scales. Yeah. It's almost like finding a balancing point so that you're not actively using any part of your body, but you're simply leaning and using the almost a force of gravity, but I think at the end of the day you are using muscles, just the correct muscles. And of course, this is completely subjective, so if you disagree, that is totally fine. I'm just saying what has helped for me. And just as a footnote as well, A little pet peeve of mine is when people say, when violinists look at their fingers, and this is completely subjective, because again, this is completely subjective, because I personally have always found when I'm looking at my fingers, it's just doing strange things to my neck, and I tend to lock up and grip the chin rest and shoulder rest with my jaw. And I always say to my students and to myself that it's not called a chin grip or a shoulder grip. They are called rests for a reason. So I actually try and look straight ahead because I like to have a neutral, completely neutral position. The violin should be fitting around me, not me around the violin. And then when I hold it, because it's resting on my shoulder, I don't have to lift it up to get there. I don't have to lift that up. It's sort of like if you weren't holding a violin, that is what holding your arm out would look like. As you can see, I'm not doing much to hold it up. I'm not using my bicep. The only thing I'm probably using is my forearm to create that acute angle. But my shoulder is completely relaxed and I can bounce movement as long as it is not compromising your technique can actually be beneficial, but we'll get to that in another video. Basically, at the end of the day, as with all of my videos, I'm pretty much telling you to relax. Don't be lazy, because that's shifting too far the other way. But don't be tense in the wrong parts. It's just not black and white, and it's sort of a balancing act. And I can't explain it any better. It's seriously just like, if you want to try and understand what I'm getting at better, really focus on this top part of your forearm, that bit right there, yeah, that bit right there. Try and activate that when you're bowing and fingering, because these are the only parts of my arms that are actually doing stuff. The rest, my back isn't hunched, I'm not gripping it with my jaw, my body is completely neutral. I'm not making a show of any of that, but it's just loose. And I have the flexibility to be able to move with ease wherever I want on the instrument. It's this combination of muscle development and relaxation. But yeah, try leaning on the negative image. I'll let you figure that out. Anyway, I have rambled, but I hope that helps anyone who is trying to redevelop it. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.